A 14th arrest made in connection with the Manchester attack as the Home Secretary admits members of the terror network could still be at large. As police raid another property in the south of the city, tens of thousands of runners prove that Manchester's spirit won't be broken.
It's very tragic, but this won't break Manchester apart because we're a strong country.
And thousands of bank holiday passengers remain stranded at Heathrow. Scores of short-haul flights cancelled and long-haul flights delayed.
This is ITV News with Kylie Pentelow.
Good evening. Police have carried out more raids in connection with the Manchester attack, arresting a 25-year-old man in Old Trafford. Other searches took place in Moss Side. The latest arrest comes after the Home Secretary said members of the Manchester terror network could still be at large. Juliet Bremner has the latest.
Scores of armed officers descended on an estate in Moss Side. This is the latest focus of their search for the terrorist network behind last Monday's attack.
It's a bit shocking at first. You feel intimidating as well. But at the same time, that's what the police have to do.
Yeah. Even to see police officers on the streets with guns, I've never, ever experienced anything like that.
In Old Trafford, mobile footage shows a 25-year-old man being arrested after his car was stopped. Police later took his vehicle away, confirming he was suspected of terrorist offences. CCTV pictures of Salman Obeidi showing the bomber making his way to the arena are intended to help jog memories. Although security forces believe he assembled the device in this block of flats, his movements could help to track down all those responsible. Juliet Bremner, ITV News.
Manchester has proved once again its spirit will not be broken. Police thanked the public for their overwhelming support and kindness, praising all those who gathered in the city to support events this weekend. One of those was the Great Manchester Run. From there, Rebecca Barry reports.
First, a moment to come together, to reflect and remember. Then, an opportunity to show the strength of a city shaken by terror. Among the 30,000 runners taking part in today's Great Manchester Run, the city's new mayor.
I think we're all struggling in some ways to come to terms with what's happened, but this is helping, this togetherness.
On Monday night in this city, children and their parents were running in fear. Now, thousands of people are running through the streets of Manchester in defiance and solidarity.
Security still stepped up, but once again, children out enjoying themselves.
It's very tragic, but this won't break Manchester apart because we're a strong country.
I think it's important because to show respect to people who lost their lives and their families who obviously are also affected.
Martin Hett, Olivia Campbell.
Meanwhile, at Manchester Cathedral, a sombre roll call.
Alison Howe, Lisa Lee.
While faith leaders stood side by side against terrorism. People here say today was cathartic, part of the healing process for this city. Rebecca Barry, ITV News, Manchester.
Now, with 10 days to go to the general election, events in Manchester have refocused the campaign, with the two main parties setting out their anti-terror plans. The Conservatives have accused Labour of being soft on terrorism. Labour said they would hire thousands more intelligence officials and police officers. Angus Walker reports.
The atrocity in Manchester has led to politicians trying to prove who's most trusted to protect the public. Appearing on Peston on Sunday, the Labour leader defended himself against Conservative criticism that he's consistently voted against anti-terror laws.
Anti-terror laws are important, but they must be subject to judicial oversight. My concern was always we were going down the road of executive orders, executive detention and executive control. Everything must be subject to a judicial process.
The Tories are also accusing Jeremy Corbyn and his close political ally Diane Abbott of being supporters of the IRA back in the 1980s.
It was 34 years ago. I had a rather splendid afro at the time. I don't have the same hairstyle, and I don't have the same views.
But the Home Secretary claims Diane Abbott's political past means she can't be trusted with Britain's future security.
What I would say to Diane Abbott is I've changed my hairstyle a few times in 34 years as well, but I have not changed my view about how we keep the British public safe.
With soldiers still deployed alongside the police until the end of the bank holiday, the aftermath of the Manchester terror attack is also influencing the election campaign. The Conservatives are promising a new commission on countering extremism, and Labour is pledging 10,000 more police officers and supporting the appointment of 1,000 more intelligence staff. Who's toughest on terror? A theme now central to the campaign. Angus Walker, ITV News.
It's been another frustrating day for thousands of British Airways passengers, with scores of short-haul flights cancelled and long-haul flights delayed. BA had promised to get services back up and running after yesterday's global IT crash, but instead there have been long queues of passengers both in and outside terminals. From Heathrow, Lucy Watson reports.
Side by side and stationary, the effects of BA's catastrophic computer meltdown continue. And so too do the chaos and confusion. Passengers with nowhere else to go.
We've been in line about 5 hours.
5 hours.
Yeah, and we have no idea how long it will be in line. The rest of the day, I'm sure.
There's been no information. There's been no staff to tell us where to go. We were twice on the wrong queue.
Police now control when people enter Heathrow's Terminal 5. Only 90 minutes before their flight, and more than a third of them have been cancelled, with many waiting 2 days.
They told us we should wait perhaps till about 6 or 6:30, and then that came and there was nothing. And it was, I would say, very disheartening experience because we just didn't know what to do.
Computer glitches do happen, but this is on a different scale. Experts blame BA for outsourcing their IT abroad.
This team was made redundant, as we said, by 50%, and it's been outsourced to overseas workers in India, where they say that they simply do not have the skills necessary to cope with such a crisis in the system.
So the uncertain wait goes on. A traveller's faith in technology being tested, and their patience with a trusted company being tried.
Well, as the day progressed, BA did seem to get a better grip on the situation, but there are still long queues inside the terminal and thousands of bags remain here. And BA will pay handsomely for this. Logistically, tens of thousands of people are still not where they need to be. They will pay a huge compensation bill in the future, and their reputation has suffered untold damage.
Lucy Watson, thank you. And finally, Lewis Hamilton has finished 7th in this afternoon's Monaco Grand Prix. It was an impressive drive by the three-time world champion, who started 13th on the grid and moved up 6 places. The race was won by Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel, who now extends his lead over Hamilton to 25 points. And that's it for now. I'll be back with the late news at 10. Until then, whatever you're doing, enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.